I welcome all of you for this session. In this session, we are going to discuss about the bridges and potentiometers, measurement of voltage and current, measurement of power, measurement of energy and power factor. So these are the topics we are going to discuss in this session. And we are mostly going to see the numerical part, which may be appear in the examination. Okay, we can move with the first question. So on the screen you can able to see the questions along with the answers, that is the choices. So similar questions will be available in the exam. Okay, the question number 1, match the following. It is in the form of match the following. On the left side the instrument types has been given, and right side corresponding supplies has been given. We have to match it, and the choice is also given at the bottom. So the first one, permanent magnet moving coil instrument. So we know the permanent magnet moving coil will use only DC. So the first one will be DC. So P for 1. So it is a confirmed one. And second one, moving iron connected through current transformer. So moving iron means it has a capability to work in AC. Already you would have learned in the theoretical part, PMMC stands for DC and MI stands for AC. So from this you can say Q stands for 2 AC only. And third one, rectifier. So all of a sudden by saying rectifier we will move for DC, but in fact we are converting the AC into DC. So both the supplies are involved here. For that we have to choose rectifier. Exact match is third one, AC and DC. An electrodynamometer type instrument, it is also going to be used in AC and DC. So the correct choice is choice number 3. So like this only you have to find the answer, but we should not spend much more time in one question itself, since time is limited in the examination. Okay, now we can see the second one. In majority of instruments, damping is provided by. So this is a direct question. Once you remember the topic as well as the explanation, what you have learned, it will be easier for us. Majority of instruments, damping is provided by eddy currents. And third one, this is also a remembering question. Power consumed by a balanced 3-phase 3-wire load is measured by 2 wattmeter method. The first wattmeter reads twice that of the second. Then the load impedance angle is in radians, it is pi by 6. And the fourth one, so this is the real numerical part. So I think some adjustments has gone down. I'll just make it. Okay, you can see the question. While measuring power of a 3-phase balanced load by 2 wattmeter method. So that is a clue. It is a 2 wattmeter method. The readings are 100 watts, that is wattmeter 1, and 250 watts for wattmeter 2. Now the power factor of the load is, that is the question. In general, for 2 wattmeter method we have the formula phi is equal to tan inverse of root 3 into magnitude of W1 minus W2, the whole divided by W1 plus W2. In the question W1 and W2 are given, but we are in need of power factor. The general formula for power factor is cos phi. In that the phi value, the formula is known. We have to substitute the values. 2 wattmeter readings are given. We have to substitute the values. So after substituting it, we will get the answer as, let us check what we are getting. So after calculation, the answer will be between 0.78 to 0.82. So actually I have not shown the choices here, which I had asked in the exam. I have directly given the answer. So in exam they will give 4 choices, and the choices will be like this. Exact answer will not be there. Only we have to choose the answer which corresponds to our result. And another one question is also very simplest one. Just a power formula, P is equal to VI. It is a well-known formula. Power is equal to is the product of voltage and current. Here the voltage is given and current is given. I had missed the circuit. Okay, just skip it. We can go to the next question. If possible, in the next session I will show the question with the circuit diagram. And again the general question. Consider the following statement. The compensating coil of a low power factor wattmeter compensates the effect of impedance of a current coil. And statement number 2. The compensating coil of a low power factor wattmeter compensates the effect of impedance of voltage coil circuit. So this is also just a remembrance and you need not do any calculations. So once if you remember the logic, you can directly say the first one is a false statement and second one is a true, because the effect of impedance of the voltage coil circuit, it is going to be compensated. So the choice number 2 is the exact answer for this question. And the 7th question is quite different. By seeing the picture, you have to give the answer. One wattmeter is shown which holds the current coil and potential coil, and two loads has been added in series, Z1 and Z2, and they are asking what will be the reading of wattmeter, either 1 and 2, Z1 and Z2, power consumed by Z1 and Z2, or 0, or power consumed by Z1 or power consumed by Z2. So for this, we have the general formula, power is equal to V into I. If you see the current, the same current is going to flow through Z1 and Z2, so there is no change. But if you see the potential coil, it is connected across Z2 and supply. So we can directly give the answer by seeing the diagram. The power consumed by Z2 is the wattmeter reading. And again a direct answer. Direct question with answer. The pressure coil of a dynamometer type wattmeter is highly resistive. Just you have to remember these answers. If you know the logic, you can give the answer easily. And 9th question is also a direct question. The bridge method commonly used for finding mutual inductance. It is a Heaviside Campbell bridge. Okay, and let us discuss the next question, which is another different one, which we need some calculations to find the answer. A PMMC ammeter has the following specification. Coil dimensions are 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter. So that is the area. Spring constant is 0.15 into 10 power minus 6 Newton meter per radian. Flux density is 1.5 into 10 power minus 3 Weber per meter square. Now we have to determine the number of turns required to produce a deflection of 90 degree when a current of 2 milliampere flows through the coil. Here the data are given, such as area is given, spring constant is given in radians, flux density as usual Weber per meter square, and the angle, deflection angle has been given in degree. Here one thing we have to note, the spring constant is in radian and deflection angle is in degree. So these two key points you have to note down. So while doing calculations you have to remember it. Now how to solve this? Determine the number of turns required to produce a deflection of 90 degree when a current of 2 milliampere flows through the coil. The current is also given. We have to determine the number of turns. And we have a term, that is a clue. At steady state condition in a PMMC meter, deflecting torque is equal to control torque. So already we have learned about the formulas. Deflecting torque is equal to BANI, where B stands for flux density, A stands for area, and N stands for number of turns, and I is the current through the coil. And the right side, control torque is TC is equal to K theta, where K is the spring constant and theta is the deflection angle. Except the number of turns N, all the terms are given. So we are keeping the N at the left side and taking all the terms to the right side, so that we can able to find number of turns required. So all the values are given. Area is given in centimeter. So as usual, we have to convert it into meters. It has been taken as 1 into 10 to the power minus 4 meter square. And K, it is in given, spring constant is given in Newton meter per radian. Flux density we have taken, I we have taken 2 milliamperes has been taken as 2 into 10 to the power minus 3. And here you have to see, this is the change we have to do. Since the spring constant is also given in radians, the deflection should also be converted to radians. And theta is 90, the equivalent radian is pi by 2. Now if you substitute all the values in this formula, n equal to k theta divided by bai, you will get 785 turns. You can check whether the choice is given. Okay, in this the choice has not been shown. Okay, don't bother about it. In exam the choices will be there. If this answer is not shown in your or available in your exam sheet, that is in question paper, you have to tick the nearest value. Another similar question, it is also quite different. Finding the extension range of a meter. Okay, we can see what we have to do in this one. The pointer of a moving coil instrument gives full scale deflection of 20 milliamperes. The potential difference across the meter when carrying 20 milliampere is 400 millivolt. Voltage and current is given. The instrument to be used is 200 ampere for full scale deflection. You note the word full scale deflection is repeated. Now find the shunt resistance required to achieve this if the instrument to be used as a voltmeter for full scale reading with 1000 volt. Find the series resistance should be connected to it. Okay, we have many clues here. One is the full scale deflection has been given. Initially it is acting as a meter. How we have found it is, we have the clue. If resistance is connected in shunt with the meter, it will act as a meter, and if the resistance is connected in series, it is going to act as a voltmeter. This is the general thing you would have noted down in the theoretical part itself. Okay, the data are given. With these ideas we can find how to convert the ammeter into voltmeter so that it can able to measure up to 1000 volt as a full scale reading. The case number 1, when the meter is acting as a ammeter, the voltage available is 400 millivolt, take it as Vm, and Im 20 milliampere, that is a full scale deflection, so that is a meter current, and 400 millivolt is the voltage available across the meter, and the total current instrument to be used is 200 ampere for full scale deflection. This is the total current the meter can handle. Okay, to find the meter resistance, Rm equal to Vm by Im. Vm is given in the question itself, 400, Im is the 20 milliamperes, and voltage is a 400 millivolt, so we will get the answer as 20 ohms. The meter resistance is 20 ohms, and we have the formula, the total current is equal to Im, that is the meter current into 1 plus Rm by Rsh. So using this we can find how much resistance has been connected in shunt, that is while acting as a ammeter. So substitute the known values in the formula so that we can able to calculate shunt resistance required. So this is the case number 1 result. While acting as a ammeter, the resistance available is 2 into 10 to the power minus 3, that is 2 milliohms. How to convert this into a voltmeter such that it can able to measure up to 1000 volt? That is the question. Okay, you can treat this as a case number 2. The voltage has been given as 1000 volt, which is to be measured, and similar to current we have the formula for voltage also. V is equal to Vm into 1 plus Rse by Rm. Here V is known, Vm is known, Rm is known. Only thing is we have to find the resistance to be connected in series with the meter. So if you substitute the values, you will get the series resistance as 49.98 kilo ohms. If we connect 49.98 kilo ohms in series with the meter, they can able to measure up to 1000 volt. Okay, you can see the next question. A 150 volt moving iron voltmeter is intended for 50 hertz, which has a resistance of 3 kilo ohms. So that find the series resistance required to extend the range of instrument to 300 volt. If the 300 volt instrument is used to measure a DC, okay, I'll just zoom it so that you can able to see it clearly. Okay, if the 300 volt instrument is used to measure a DC voltage of 200 volt, find the voltage across the meter. Now the given values are Rm is given as 3 kilo ohms. It is specified in the question. Vm is 150 volt. It is given in the question itself. And V is taken as 300 volt. That is the instrument range has been given as 300 volt. Now we have the formula. V is equal to Vm into 1 plus Rse by Rm. Here the series resistance is not given. So from the formula you can find Rse as 3 kilo ohms. And case number 2, we have to extend the range. So again use the formula V is equal to Vm into 1 plus Rse by Rm. Here we are in need of Vm. Rse we have found it as 3 kilo ohms. So by using this 3 kilo ohms, we have to find what is the value of Vm if the voltage has been reduced to 200. That is the question. Again substitute in the same formula. You can find the Vm as 100 volt. So in this question, find the voltage across the meter. If the 300 volt instrument is used to measure a DC voltage of 200 volt, find the voltage across the meter. Answer is 100 volt. So like these questions you may expect more in the exam. What about the next question? Very simplest question. What is the value of series resistance to be used to extend 0 to 200 volt range of the sensitivity value is given 20,000 ohms per volt. Actually the ohms per volt is the sensitivity. So 20,000 ohms per voltmeter, we have to extend the range from 200 to 2000. So first thing we are in need of VSC. How we can find the VSC? You find the difference between the ranges. Two ranges has been given, 2000 and 200. So if you find the range difference between these two ranges, so VSC equal to 2000 minus 200, we will get 1800 volt. That is the required VSC. That is the series voltage across the series resistance. The voltage across the series resistance. And one more thing, we have the formula for full scale deflection current, which involves a sensitivity. So you can see the formula, full scale deflection current is equal to 1 by sensitivity. Now the sensitivity has been given in the question as 20,000 ohms per volt. Just substitute, and finally we have the formula V equal to IR. So VSC equal to RSC into full scale deflection current. In this RSC is unknown. That is the question they have asked. What is the value of series resistance? So by substituting we will get 36 mega ohms. If you add 36 mega ohms in series with the meter resistance, then you can able to measure the voltmeter using the voltmeter up to 2000 volt. One more similar question is there. This is also a different question. A 250 volt MI voltmeter has coil resistance of 500 ohms, coil inductance of 1.04 Henry and series resistance of 2 kilo ohms. The meter reads correctively at 250 volt DC. What will be the value of capacitance to be used for shunting the series resistance to make the meter read correctly at 50 Hertz? What is the reading of voltmeter on AC without capacitance? Okay, the inductance value is given, coil inductance has been given. We have to find what is the reading of voltmeter on AC without capacitance. Again, we have to use the formula C equal to 0.41 into L by R suffix S the whole square, where L stands for inductance, and as usual RS stands for series resistance, which has been given as 2 kilo ohms, and inductance has been given as 1.04 Henry. So if you substitute in the formula, you will get the capacitance value as 0.1 microfarad. Now the question is, what is the reading of voltmeter in AC without capacitance? Okay, without capacitance means we have to omit the capacitance value and we have to use only the inductance value. In general, if you consider the AC supply, that is AC circuit, means instead of resistance we are going to use the term impedance, because impedance involves both the resistance as well as reactance. The reactance may be inductive or capacitive. So in this question we have to neglect the capacitance, so we are taking the inductive reactance alone. You can see the formula on the screen. Just note down the pointer where I am showing. For AC, impedance is equal to root of Rm, that is the total resistance square. You have two resistance, one is meter resistance and series resistance. So Rm plus Rsc the whole square plus XL square. So XL stands for inductive reactance. Substitute the values. How we have got XL is equal to 314. XL we have the formula 2 pi F. So 2 into pi into F, in the question it has been specified as 50 Hertz. So 2 pi into 50 will get 314. Just substitute, we will get the total impedance as 2520 ohms. Keep this as one impedance. Now with DC, the total resistance has been given as 2500 ohms. How we have calculated? So here you can see coil resistance of 500 and series resistance of 2 kilo ohms. So totally 2500 ohms. From using these two terms we have to calculate. So the total resistance in DC is 2500 ohms. For 2500 ohms, the voltage specified in the question is, you can see it is 250 volt. If it is for 2500 ohms, we get 250 volt, means what will the value we get for 1 ohms? Just keep it. For 1 ohms it is 250 by 2500, means then what will be the value for voltage available for 2520 ohms, that is the impedance. So using these two relations, for 2520 ohms we will get 250 by 2500, that is for 1 ohm value, into 2520. So if you do this calculation, we will get around 248 volt. So this is the voltage the voltmeter will measure without using the capacitance. And the next question is a direct question. Once you remember the logic, that is a topic, you can able to answer. In DC potentiometer measurements, a second reading is often taken after reversing the polarities of the DC supply and the unknown voltage. The average of two readings is taken. This is with a view to eliminate. So if you know the concept, you can directly give the answer as to eliminate stray thermal EMF. And next question. So again, this is also a direct question. So you need not spend more time in this. A transfer instrument employed in the standardization of polar type. This is AC potentiometer. The standardization. A A transfer instrument employed in the standardization of polar type AC potentiometer is a thermal instrument. So no logic is needed. Once you remember the concept, you can give the answer. Similarly, the next question also. A primary current in a current transformer is dictated by the load current. This is a well-known one for all of them as an electrical engineer. And one more direct question. Kelvin double bridge is best suited for the measurement of resistances of very low value. Okay, you can see the next question. Again, this will be quite a different one when compared to previous questions what we have discussed. A moving coil milliammeter having a resistance of 10 ohms gives full scale deflection when a current of 5 milliampere is passed through it. If the instrument is to be used to measure current up to 1 ampere. Okay, what are the data are given? A moving coil milliammeter having a 10 ohms resistance, full scale reflection when a current of 5 amperes. R is given, I is given. If the instrument is used to be measured current up to 1 ampere. From 5 milliamperes, we have to extend the range such that it can able to measure 1 ampere. Now here, you need not go for any calculation. Why I am saying this is, if you watch all the 4 choices, you can see all has same resistance value. So you need not do any calculation. You can directly give the answer. If it is an ammeter, means resistance must be connected in parallel. So the third choice is the correct one. A resistance of 0.502 ohms must be connected parallel with the resistance of ammeter. So for this type of questions, you need not waste the time. You can directly point out the answer and go to the next question. I think these calculations are not needed, because by seeing the choices itself we can able to choose the correct answer. What about the next question? You can see again it belongs to PMMC type voltmeter having a full scale reading of 250 volt and an internal resistance of 400 kilo ohms is connected with the series resistance of 100 kilo ohms. Calculate the sensitivity of voltmeter in ohms per volt. That is, sensitivity will be always represented in ohms per volt. So after doing the calculation, we can check the choices. How to find the sensitivity? Sensitivity, we have the formula Rm plus Rs, that is the meter resistance plus series resistance whole divided by full scale deflection, that is the voltage. Now what is given in your question, 250 volt, 400 kilo ohms and series resistance 100 kilo ohms. All the 3 values are given. Just substitute in the formula. You need not go for this diagram at all. Already we know the formula, just substitute directly. This is equal to Rm plus Rs divided by full scale deflection voltage VFD. All the 3 values are given in a question. So substitute and find. The sensitivity is 2000 ohm per volt. So check the choices. The second one is the exact answer. Since in exam we have very less time, you need not bother about the circuit and all. Once if you know the formula, you can directly substitute and find it. So that is the easiest way to save the time. The next question, a moving coil galvanometer has a resistance of 4 ohms and gives full scale deflection when carrying 30 milliamperes. The instruments can be used to measure 150 volt by connecting in series with the instrument a resistance of. Again it is an extension type problem. Here it has been given as galvanometer. A galvanometer is equivalent to voltmeter. So if you want to extend the range, you have to connect the resistance in series for voltmeter, and if it is an ammeter, means you have to connect the extra resistance in parallel to the meter resistance. That is the concept. Already we have discussed. Okay, you can see the galvanometer resistance is 4 ohms, that is the meter resistance. Full scale deflection is given as 30 milliamperes, that is 30 into 10 power minus 3, and the voltage range is 150 volt. Now the resistance is given as R is equal to V by IF. So 150 by 30 into 10 power minus 3 is equal to 5000 ohms. Total resistance has been given as 5000 ohms. Total circuit resistance we have found it as 5000 ohms. If you want to extend up to 150, but already available resistance in the circuit, that is the galvanometer resistance, is 4. If you subtract this 4 from the total resistance, you can easily find the extra resistance to be connected in series to extend the range up to 150 volt. So the extra resistance is total resistance 5000 minus galvanometer resistance 4. The answer is 4996 ohms. Okay, we can further proceed with some other problems. The next question has been given as a 15 volt moving iron voltmeter has a resistance of 300 ohms and an inductance of 0.12 Henry. The instrument reads correctly on DC and on AC at 36 Hz when it shows a voltage of 14.75. What will its reading for the same voltage at 100 Hz? Here the supply has been used as both DC and AC, and in this question they are increasing the frequency. For this corresponding frequency we have to find the reading, that is what will be its reading for same voltage at 100 Hz. Okay, we can see how to solve it. What are they given? 15 volt is given, 300 ohms as resistance, inductance is given, and frequency is given. So at 36 frequency in AC, the voltage is 14.75. These are the terms given. If it is an AC, means we have to bring the impedance inside. So as per the formula, Z square is equal to R square plus XL square. Why we are using XL here instead of XC is only inductance value is specified. So XL, we can change it as 2 pi FL, which is the general formula. So it will be 2 pi F the whole FL the whole square. F value is given as 36. So substitute all the values, you will get impedance, total impedance of the circuit as 300.6 ohms. Now for this impedance and frequency, what is the question? When the frequency is 100 Hz, so we have used 100 here, the impedance is 300.6. So with this frequency, what will be the meter reading? That is, voltmeter reading is given as voltmeter voltage into voltmeter resistance the whole divided by impedance. Actually this must come here, the whole divided by impedance. Voltmeter range already it has been given as 15 volt, that is the initial voltage, and 300 ohms it is also specified in the question, and impedance we have found it as 300.6. So the meter will measure up to 14.55 volt. And this is one of the exam questions. I have not specified the year. In a low voltage sharing bridge designed for measurement of permittivity, the branch AB consists of 2 electrodes between which the specimen under test may be inserted. Arm BC is a non-reactive resistor R3 in parallel with a standard capacitor C3. And arm CD is a non-reactive resistor R4 in parallel with a standard capacitor C4. Similarly, arm DA is a standard air capacitor of capacitance C2. And two conditions has been given. Without the specimen between the electrode, balance is obtained with following values. That is all the capacitance value as given. C3 and C4 equal to 120 picofarad and C2 equal to 150 picofarad. R3 and R4 equal to 5000 ohms with the specimen inserted. This is the second condition. With the specimen inserted, these values become, C3 has been changed to 200 picofarad from 120 and C4 has been changed to 1000 picofarad from 120, and similarly C2 from 150 picofarad it has been changed to 900 picofarad, and similarly R3 and R4 it has been remaining the same. Now for these two conditions we have to find the relative permittivity of the specimen. So two conditions are given, one is without using the specimen and second one after using the specimen. And if you see the formula, relative permittivity is equal to capacitance measured with given medium. So here medium is the specimen divided by capacitance measured with air medium, that is without specimen. So these two has been already given. Indirectly we have to calculate. So you can see the bridge also here, you have to remember. In the question itself it has been specified as low voltage sharing bridge. So for remembrance I am showing this diagram on the screen. So you can directly move with the formula. Once you know the low voltage sharing bridge formula, so you have to use it. C1 is equal to C2 into R4 by R3. Here we cannot specify the C1 because two conditions has been given, so we have to assume C0 without specimen and CS with specimen. Because both the conditions has been specified in the question, we are using it. So by using C0 in place of C1, we are finding the capacitance without specimen. R4, R3, C2 values are given in the question itself. Just pick it up and substitute. You will get 150 picofarad. And after inserting the specimen, the same formula, CS is equal to C2 into R4 by R3. Substitute the values, we will get capacitance as 900 picofarad. Now two different values we have got, one with the medium, one without, that is air capacitance. So as per the formula, relative permittivity is equal to CS by C0, which is equal to 900 by 150, we will get 6. So the answer is 6. Relative permittivity of the specimen is 6. So by this way we have to find the answers. And another question, with moving coil instrument gives deflection with 15 milliamperes. The instrument has a resistance of 5 ohms. If the resistance of 0.8 ohms is connected in parallel with the instrument will be capable of reading up to, we can come back to the later to the choices. Here a total current is given, resistance is given, and extra resistance has been connected in parallel with the instrument will be capable of reading up to. If it is connected in parallel means it is definitely a meter. Okay, our meter resistance 5, shunt resistance is 0.8. That is parallel, it is 0.8. Full scale deflection, that is meter current is 15. So we have to find the total current, and we have the general formula for shunt resistance. Rs is equal to Im Rm divided by I minus Im. In this total current I is unknown, substitute the values. So finally we have got 10875 milliamperes. You can check whether it is available. 10875 is not here. Instead of that 1087, which is nearest to the answer we have got. So you have to select the choice number 4. And another question, there is also one clue available in this. I will tell it after reading the question. That is seeing the question what they have asked. A moving coil ammeter has a resistance of 10 ohms, gives full scale deflection when a current of 5 milliamperes is passed through it. Instrument can be used for measurement of voltage up to 5 volt. Here resistance is given, current is given, and voltage is given. What we have to find, the instrument can be used for the measurement of voltage up to 5 volt. That is, we have to convert the ammeter into voltmeter. The same ammeter arrangement should be used to measure the voltage. And what is the clue we have got in this question is, we need not do the calculations. Again, you can see in all the answers the resistance specified is same, no changes there. In all the 4 choices it is 990, 990, 990. So instead of wasting time in doing the calculations, we have to find the exact choice. Since it is going to act as a voltmeter, resistance must be connected in series with the instrument. So the exact choice is choice number 3. So it has been highlighted here. So like this, examples will save our time. We need not do the calculations, no formula is needed. So if you receive questions like this, first thing is we have to check the choices. If all the values are same, here in this question all the ohms values are same, so we can avoid the calculation part and directly find the answer. I think this is also one of the questions asked in exam. I have not specified the year. You can expect similar problems in exams. Next question, a permanent magnet moving coil type ammeter and a moving iron type ammeter is connected in series. Okay, check in this question, PMMC and MI both has been connected in series with the output of half wave rectifier. So the moving iron type instrument is 5 amperes. Moving coil type instrument is likely to be. What will be the reading of moving coil type? So the clue is both PMMC and MI has been connected in series across the half-wave rectifier. After doing the calculations, we can come back to the choices. For half-wave rectifier, we know IDC is equal to I peak by pi, and for AC, in half-wave, IRMS is equal to I peak by 2. So by using these two equations, we can come to a conclusion. ID is equal to 2 into IRMS by pi. IRMS is given as 5 amperes. Again, go back to the question. You can see always the MI meter will read the RMS value. So we can directly take IRMS. That is, IRMS is equal to 5 amperes. Therefore, ID is equal to 2 into IRMS by pi, the formula. Substitute the value of IRMS 5 amperes. ID is equal to 3.18. You can check the answer in the choices. It is choice number 3. Okay, we can discuss the next question. Determine the deflection sensitivity in ohms per volt. So actually it is ohm, since it is a CRO, deflection sensitivity of a CRO when the value of deflection factor is 0.5 volt per meter. Sorry, 0.45 volt. Again, it is the simplest one. Deflection sensitivity is equal to 1 by deflection factor. So deflection sensitivity, substitute the deflection factor is given as 0.5. It is given in the question itself. So finally we will get 2. Answer is 2. So choice number 2. So like this small questions will save the time for us. Okay, again one more different type regarding the error. A 100 volt voltmeter has an accuracy of 5% on the full scale. The percentage error while measuring 50 volt will be. Okay, the limiting error at full scale is that is del E is equal to plus or minus 5% of 100. It is given in question, accuracy of 5% on full scale value is 100 volt, so 5% of 100 is 5 millivolt. So we can take del E as plus or minus 5 millivolt. Sorry, it is the error is the limiting error is 5 volt. That is 5% of 100 is 5. I made a mistake here. It is 5 volt. So when the reading is around 50 volt, again the error will be 5. Hence the percentage limiting error we can take it as 5 divided by 50 into 100, which will act as a 10%. So the next question is related to the same sensitivity of voltmeter. What will be the sensitivity of voltmeter with 0 to 7 milliampere meter moment? The current has been given. Here the solution is sensitivity of voltmeter is the reciprocal of maximum current deflection. Here current deflection has been given as 7 milliamperes. So 1 by 7 milliampere, that is 7 into 10 to the minus 3, will get 143 ohms per volt. What is available in the next question? Again, this is entirely different. A current of minus 8 plus 6 root 2 into sine of omega t plus 30 degree ampere is passed through 3 meters. They are center 0. This is the first clue. Center 0 PMMC meter, a true RMS meter, and a moving ion meter. So 3 meters are there. The current value is given along with the magnitude. We have to find the readings of each meter. And the clue what we have got, PMC MMC instrument reads only DC value, and since it is center 0, it will give minus 8 value. Now we have got this minus 8, that is from the magnitude. And RMS meter will read RMS value of the current. So RMS value, again we can take it from the magnitude. So if you substitute in this value, you will get 10 amperes. So since both MI and true RMS value, will get 10, 10. So the choice is minus 8, 10, 10. These are the readings which you can note down from the 3 different ammeters. Again, it is a similar different question. What you saw in the previous sections, that is the previous problems. An ammeter has a current range of 0 to 5 amperes and its internal resistance is 0.2 ohms. In order to change the range to 0 to 25 amperes, we need to add a resistance of. Very simple. Initially it was up to 0 to 5. Now we have to increase the range up to 25 amperes. So increasing the range means we have to add the resistance in series with the meter. Is it so? Not. If it is a voltmeter means we have to connect in series. If it is an ammeter means we have to connect in parallel. Don't forget this logic, very simplest logic. Okay, we can move for the calculations. The given question has been drawn in circuit form. You can see the total current has been meter current has been taken as 25 amperes, which is given in a question. What you have to measure, and at present the range of the meter is 0 to 5 amperes and meter resistance is 0.2. Now the shunt resistance to be added, that is the resistance to be connected in parallel with the meter, is unknown. At the same time the current through the shunt resistance is unknown. So from the diagram we can come to a conclusion. I, the current through shunt resistance, is equal to 25 minus 5, because this is a current coming inside from the meter, first ammeter, that is the first range, and this current will be split into 2. So we can take I is equal to 25 minus 5. The current through shunt resistance is 20 amperes from the calculation. After finding this, we can find RSS is equal to I into R is equal to I into R. You can see I into R, because voltage drop across this RSS is equal to voltage drop across the meter and its resistance. With that logic, you can go IR, V equal to IR, here also V equal to IR. RSS is unknown, 20 just we have found out I, and these two terms are given in a question itself. So RSS is equal to 1 by 20 is equal to 0.05 ohms. Okay, the exact choice is 0.05 ohms in parallel with the meter. So the next question seems to be the biggest one. Okay, we can try to solve it. Only the question seems to be the biggest one. The DC current flowing in a circuit is measured by two ammeters, one PMMC and another electrodynamometer type connected in series. The PMMC meter contains 100 turns in the coil. The flux density in the air gap is 0.2 Weber per meter square, and the area of coil is 80 mm square. The electrodynamometer ammeter has a change in mutual inductance with respect to deflection of 0.5 millihenry per degree. The spring constants of both the meters are equal. The value of current at which the deflections of the two meters are same is. The clue which has been given in this question is the spring constants of both the meters are equal. That is a clue. Using this we have to solve. The value of current at which the deflections of the two meters are same. This is the second clue. Okay, as usual, we can move to the problem solution. Later we can come back to the choices. So it has been given as PMMC and electrodynamometer type meters are connected in series. Both meters are carrying the same current and both are having same spring constants. So using this clue we can frame an equation. For a permanent magnet moving coil meter, deflection torque is BANI, and for electrodynamometer type meter, the deflection torque is equal to I square into dm by d theta. So since both are same, both the deflection torques are same, we can use this, equate these two equations and substitute the values. After substituting the values, we will get I is equal to 3.2. Now check the choice. The exact choice is fourth one. And the next question is one of the question which has been asked in the exam itself. It is one of the easiest question. The sawtooth voltage waveform shown in the figure is fed to a moving iron voltmeter. Its reading would be close to. It has been specified as moving iron voltmeter, and we have to find the range, that is the reading. See, in the choices the exact reading is not given, only the range, different ranges has been given. What is the clue behind this? So if you watch this, the peak value has been given as 100 volt, time and voltage is given, the peak value is given as 100 volt, and it is a moving iron meter. Already we know the meter will read RMS value. Always the MI meter will read RMS value. So VRMS is equal to VM by root 3, where VM is the peak voltage. So maximum voltage. How we have found this is 100. I can go back to the diagram. It has been specified as 100 here. This is the maximum value. So the RMS value is equal to 100 divided by root 3. It is 57.73. It lies between 56 to 59. The choice is number 4. So you can see most of the questions which have been asked in the exam, the answer is not exactly given. Only the nearest answer we have to specify. Okay, the next question is, while measuring power of a three-phase balanced load by the 2 wattmeter method, the readings are 100 watts and 250 watts. The power factor of the load is 0.7. Sorry, I am reading the choice. Again, as usual, we have to find the power factor of the load. The 2 wattmeter readings are given. Again, it is a 2 wattmeter method. So at the starting itself, we have discussed this type of problem. Again, it is repeating here. As usual, 2 wattmeter readings are given. We have to find the power factor. Just substitute in the formula. See, here I have specified cos. The reason is we are in need of cos phi. So instead of phi, I had inserted the formula here. So don't get confused. It is equal to cos of 0.74, that is tan inverse of 0.742. Finally, we will be getting 0.802 as a power factor. 0.802. So this is the nearest value. The value that we have found out will be available within this one. So the exact choice is third one, 0.78 to 0.82. So most of the questions, if you watch again, the exact answer has not been shown in the choices. So it is your part to point out the exact answer. You will be in a hurry. So during an exam, if you are in a hurry means you may get confused. So be careful while specifying, that is specifying the exact answer. You can see one more type. This is also one of the questions which has been asked in the exam. A sampling wattmeter that computes power from simultaneously sampled values of voltage and current is used to measure the average power of a load. The peak-to-peak value of square wave is 10 volt and current is a triangular wave of 5 amp peak to peak. As shown in figure, the period is 20 milliseconds given below. The reading is W will be, that is what mean. Reading is the power reading, that is the wattmeter reading. Here you can see in solution part, very simplest problem. If you watch the waveforms, both positive and negative half cycles has the same area covered. So it means the average power, that is the total power, will be 0. So that's what given in explanation. If we consider both the waves, we can say positive and power and negative power in each cycle is equal. So the net power will be 0. So like this type of problems will help us to save the time in during the exams. Okay, with this I will end this session. The remaining part we can continue in the forthcoming sessions. Thank you for all.